Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, first let's thank to Allah who have given us mercy and blessing so that we could in a healthy condition. And secondly, salawat to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. He moved us from the darkness to the lightness. And thank you so much for Ma'am Miranti Eka Putri as a lecturer and English engineering course who have shared their knowledge to us, and to all of my friends, may we always be given healthy condition by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Okay guys, on this occasion, I would like to present the result of my research about characteristic livable house in the area of settlement located in Batam City, Kepulauan Riau province. Okay, before I start my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Khusrianti Hafizah. You guys can call me Fiza. Now I'm a student in Urban and Regional Planning, Universitas Islam Riau in semester 6, and I'm part of class B. As for what we will discuss this time about, first, introduction, second, characteristic of livable house, and third, legality and property right in the settlement located in Batam City, Kepulauan Riau province. Fourth, distribution of the settlement in Batam City, and the last, conclusion. Okay, let's start the presentation. The first introduction about Batam City. Batam City has a coastal and ocean area of 2,791.09 square kilometers, or 72.87% of the total area of 3,829.93 square kilometer, based in Batam in figure 20 and 20. The second fact about Batam is Batam City is also very strategic because it is located side by side with neighboring Indonesia in the northern, namely Singapore and Malaysia. And the third fact about Batam is Batam City is also included in the development plan of Trans-Indonesia Sea Transportation, namely as a northern cross route starting from Natuna until Halmahera. And the fourth fact is Batam City is included in the primary marine space center and one of the 26 flagship coastal cities in Indonesia. As one of the flagship coastal cities, Batam City cooperates in three activities along with other regions in Indonesia. The first activity is the utilization of sea space in the Karimata Strait and South China Sea with Pemangkat, Mempawah, Singkawang, Ketapang, Natuna, Tanjung Pinang, Tanjung Balai Karimun, Tembilahan, Kuala Tungkal, Muara Sabak, Palembang, Sungai Liat, dan Tanjung Pandan. And the second activity is cooperation of the development of maritime tourism attraction with Pontianak, Pangkal Pinang, Tanjung Pandan, and Natuna. And the third activity is development of shipping and transportation industry with Pontianak and Palembang. Second, introduction about settlement. The house is one of the basic human needs, which is very important in addition to the needs of clothing, food, health, and education. Ideally, a house can be owned by every family with proper conditions because in addition to function as a place to live or shelter used to protect from weather or climatic disturbance, the house is also a place for the development of life. A livable house is a house that meets the requirements of building safety and the minimum adequacy of the building area, as well as a health of the occupants. One type of house that is found in coastal area is the saddle house. The concept of saddle house is used as a substitute for land in the construction of a building in addition to being an alternative pre-arrangement of the area besides reclamations because the structure is able to stand on water based on Putra and 3 Villas 10 on 20 and 17. The culture of establishing a saddle house in the coastal area is local wisdom because it has existed for generations since the time of their ancestors, where residents in coastal areas settle and do activities on the water, such as setting up a house, working as a fisherman, and other activities that are also out on the water. The saddle house is growing over time, so that it becomes a saddle settlements built on the water on the sea coast. There are two issues in this research. First, characteristic of a livable house. Is the saddle house a livable house or not? Second, legality status and land ownership in the saddle house. Is saddle house legal and has the certificate of use or not? Of livable house, the facilities and infrastructure that must access in a residential area according to the Indonesia National Standard number 3 strip 1733 strip 2004 are first facility. First, government's facilities and public service like a police station or post station, and second, facilities for education like elementary school, high school, university, and three, health facilities like a hospital or clinic. Four, worship facility like a mosque, and five, cultural and recreation facilities like a cinema, and six, facilities for green open space, parks, and sports fields like uh, parks, garden, and seven, facilities for trade and services like mall, market, and next, infrastructure. First, clean water. Second, garbage. 3. Sanitation. 4. Road network. 5. Telecommunication network. And 6. Drainage. And 7. Local transportation networks. A residential neighborhood location must meet the following conditions. There are three. First, in accordance with the Internal Land Allocation Plan or RTRW or other planning documents stipulated by the local regional regulation with the following criteria: security, health, comfort, beauty or harmony or regulatory, flexibility, distance, affordability, and self-sufficient environment. Second, must be on clear land status and meets administrative, technical, and ecological requirements. And third, the alignment between the order, activities, and the nature around it. Okay, and the security criteria is not in accordance with law number 24/2007 regarding disaster management, where the coastline, which is 100 meters from the shoreline, is a protected area due to disaster prone. because settlement in coastal areas do not meet the criteria for livable house because they are located on a coastal border, which is a disaster prone area such as tsunami or tidal flood. And in the health criterion is not in accordance with the existing condition. Based on interview with the residents who live in settlements in Belakang Padang district, there are no facilities garbage collection service, but garbage and household waste are disposal of directly into the sea. Even sanitation infrastructure is not available. The community does have their own toilet in each house, but there are no septic tank, which accommodated it so that the result of its disposal are immediately cancelled into the sea. And about land status, the legality of existing house ownership is clear in their opinion, namely by paying the rural of the residential area to build the house. But without certainty, there is a legal certificate from the local government of Batam city. However, according to other residents, they already have a valid building right certificate from the Batam city regional government. And land ownership in the saddle house located in coast. First, in article number 20, paragraph 1, regulation of the Minister of Marine Affairs and Fisheries number 23 Permen KP 2016 explains that the general utilization area is described in the tourism zone, settlements, port, mangrove forest, meaning fishing, catch, aquaculture, fisheries, work industry, and others. And there are, based on the regulation of the Minister of Marine Affairs and Fisheries number 23/2016, the existence of settlements is legal or allowed. And number 2, law number 24/2007, article number 32 explain that coastal areas are restricted areas for settlements given the dangers of tsunamis and tidal floods. 3. Supported by the Presidential Regulation number 51/2016 on the provision of the coastal border, which is as far as 100 meters from the highest tide point to land. And number 4, according to the regulation of the Minister of Agrarian Spatial Planning or National Development Planning Agency number 17 /2016, Article 5, Paragraph 1, letter D, explain that the granting of land rights on the beach can be given to buildings that must access in coastal areas. Among others, the residents of indigenous legal communities or members of the community who have traditionally lived in the place. And number 5, based on the law article number 53, types of land rights that can be granted to the saddle house, the most appropriate right to be granted is the right to use, because the right to use the land give the right to building in this case is establishment of saddle house building on water and using land product for other purpose. In this case, it is for the fishery sector. In fact, the border is a protected area that is included in the classification of local protected area. We can see on the satellite image of the saddle settlements area in Batu Merah village. Saddle settlements in Batu Merah village have begun to be eroded due to reclamation for industrial areas. We can see on this satellite image of the saddle settlements in Tanjung Uma village. Saddle settlements in Tanjung Uma village have begun to be eroded due to reclamation for trade and service. Next, we can see on this satellite image growth of saddle settlements in Belakang Padang district from year to year, started in 2002. And next, we can see in 2008, in the circle picture is the addition of a house settlement, saddle house. There are 4 additional locations in 2008. And next, in 2016, in the circle pictures the addition of a saddle house, there are 4 additional locations too. And the next, in 2018, in the circle pictures the additional of a saddle house, there are 3 additional locations. And last, in 2020, there are 2 additional locations saddle house. As conclusions, in terms of feasibility of this saddle house, there are still many shortcomings if referring to Indonesia National Standard Number 3, strip 17 and 33, strip 2004, as in the condition of road networks made of wood constructions, location above the water that is quite prone to disaster, as well as the absence of safety tanks to accommodate household, and to reach the facilities of community settlements, facilities must reach the mainland to get services. And in the case study of saddle house in Batam city, based on interview with residents living in housing saddles, conclude that the saddle house is legal in accordance with the regulation of the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries number 23/2016 as an aquaculture area that is in the classification of residential area. Also supported by regulation of the Minister of Agrarian Spatial Planning or National Development Planning Agency number 17/2016 related to land arrangement in coastal area and small island in Article 5, Paragraph 1, letter D explained that the granting of land rights on the beach can be given to buildings that must exist in coastal areas. Among other things, the residents of indigenous people are members of the community who have traditionally lived in the place. Moreover, the water around Batam consideration city included shallow waters with a depth of 550 meters, so it is not designated as the tsunami prone consideration area. And according to the result of the interview, residents who previously settled in these settlements have obtained the right to use in the form of a certificate of building permit in accordance with Article number 53 of the Constitution. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and sorry for all my mistake. Wallahu muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy Eid Mubarak. Minal aidin wal faizin.